We don't allocate that money at this time, however, it's good to know that we possibly will have that coming in.
Whatever, I put 15,000 because that's what I think is what we need. But
And historically, that's around where you landed.
So, okay. Scale maintenance, our scale out there is 1,000,000 years old. It needs more maintenance than ever. It probably will get to a point in the next couple of years that it will never be fixed again.
How much does a scale?
We'd have to get,
That's a loan.
That's $100,000.
yeah, that's at least.
So what you end up doing, you end up buying 4 portable ones, at probably about 5,000 apiece. But at that point, that'll be something that we'll have to talk about whether we maintain having a truck officer anymore, and whether that'll be something in the future, whether it's worth the while.
Control, you call in somebody else.
That's a good revenue source though, isn't it, George?
It's a good revenue source, but it's he may be covering his salary, maybe. But I think that's a one-for-one. It's a matter of the enforcement on the street. And my understanding of it is the state senator is talking about changing all these routes around here. That if that does happen, that you won't see the traffic coming through here. If that happens, I haven't been, that was the first time I met Matt Mahaney, but he hasn't, never reached out to me about that. He just told me about that at the last Christmas thing, or whatever thing he had. So,
You just know anything about that.
did he?
Yeah, because of the amount of trucks that are coming down through here.
Oh, yeah, they're huge.
Yeah,
There's
and,
a million.
yeah, I mean, I've been at places around the house, some of those tractor trailers are making it come down that, picking those corners off, they shouldn't even be there.
I agree. So he's supposedly working on that.
Yeah, you can bring PennDOT down there.
Yeah, let's see how well that works. That's why I moved the speed side down there on Pennsylvania, try to slow them up when they're coming out with it without a load in them.
Well, here's the thing that we told me, which I was gonna ask you about. What he wants to do, what he's pushing to do, is to get it not designated where trucks can go down there at all. Right, but the signage has to come from PennDOT. At that time, though, when that happens, then we're able to find people. Then you're able to enforce,
Oh,
fine
absolutely.
against them.
Yeah,
So, that's the way to go. Because I've talked to him about this before, and we haven't been peace unless you're getting them for some other violation.
right.
But if it's not designated a truck route, and they're notified, they can then
It's all,
park
right,
out there and start nailing and come across.
right. But it has no sign, no law, you can't do.
All right, okay.
So when we do get to that point, but I'll tell you what, the trucks are, they're good compared to what they used to be years ago, talking to Bo, that they used to be overweight all the time. And he says, we bring them in here and they know if they're overweight, they're getting hammered bad, and they're not anymore. So,
It's just
but
a
but that doesn't help the people that live on Pennsylvania
Right.
Avenue.
It's killing them. They're ready to picket sign up,
I agree.
in the legislator's
And
office.
there's definitely a lot of trucks, but on the police department side,
You can't do anything about it unless they're in a
That's
violation.
not illegal.
right,
Is the animal control officer, is that something that is the contractual
yeah,
fee, or, okay?
Well, when we call them,
That's one.
we pay them, right?
it's $50 a call.
Oh, got it.
All right, so scale maintenance is good. Animal control, that's $50 a call. That's probably where we're gonna be. I've talked to my officers about at least going out there and talking to people. Because a lot of times we'll get calls and they'll go, oh, I'll give that to animal control. Animal control goes out and they go, oh yeah, I had a baby possum. Well,
Right.
my guys can pick that up and do something with it,
Right.
rather than wasting $50. And we also bought 2 nooses that we never had before. So we now can, like the ones
Is that
that.
the one, is that the thing on the pole?
Yeah.
Right.
For the
The
pets.
problem is-
But like skunks, you're always calling that animal control officer, right?
No, because they're not doing a lot with it. Wild animals are
I was
wild
just curious how your
animals.
officers
That's
felt
the
about
nuisance
approaching
animals,
those.
not
They're easy to track and you
Snakes or
let them in there
anything
for a
like that.
little while,
I
let
wouldn't
them
touch that.
calm down,
It's skunks.
then you put a blanket.
A lot of times, the animal control officer will not do anything with it because it is a wild animal.
Okay.
And they'll tell them, you have to trap it on your own or you gotta call it a
But
special.
the real tough guys around baby possums.
I'll call
I
you.
think now the
And we also, we have,
leave them alone.
very close, I think, Bill's house, there's a conservation officer now that lives in
Yes.
town.
Yeah.
Right, what's her name? I police officer's court time, I estimated at 50,000. I look at court notices every day, I cut guys out, I cut guys overtime back a lot. It's gonna be one of those things, you wanna take a chance at 45, you can take a chance, but, you know, I can't. You know, I do everything I can to keep guys not going to court, but the contractual obligation is tough. Moving down, this is where you get into your health stuff.
What's that health insurance stipend?
That's me and George, we took care of that.
And that's where you want it?
That's where it should be, right, George? Under the agreement?
529?
529.
Yeah, I think that should be double that.
No.
I have 2 officers.
Yeah, we had to sign an MMO last year, 7,500 apiece.
Okay, but your budget is 6750.
No. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm
You're
looking
the
about the reimbursement, healthcare reimbursement, 15.
What's the health insurance stipend is, that's the old guys. That's the
Yeah,
retired
we
guys.
lost, and we only have
I'm one of them.
one left, and he should be out of there, so that's actually a surplus.
Yeah.
So then you should have this 6750.
Well, I don't, he's got,
That's a good number.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, that's,
It's a hefty
That's a
cut, so
good
make sure you were okay with it.
yeah, they're the retired guys. Capital purchase stays the same. Police pension and reserve, that's Bob put that in that, so I'm not,
we're still trying to find the bottom of that. I'm just, again, we pay every year, like this year, we got, 140-something thousand from the state, and then we have to pay the difference. It's usually like $50,000. However, if you notice in the lines, we've never taken it out of there. So if all, like I said, if we want to take the chance, I want to investigate that more, but that would be something that we could actually use if, in the case that that isn't, I don't know, I mean, Joan says that that money has to be there. However, in the AMS system, it says it's not being used, so it's a tough call there.
I think our AMS system is not.
Well, I understand that, but again, like, I would hate to have a $53,000 deficit.
Oh, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But why isn't that being, you know, what happened last year to that, our pension contribution? That's what I want, that's what has to be investigated.
Well, that might be where the money is coming from, but it's not in this.
What do you mean, did you go where it was supposed to?
I don't, well, according to this, it was never taken out, according to this system. That's, I just want to make sure that there is no foul-ups with that.
Yeah, same with me, so I'll research that more.
Telephone's going up because of data plans, those kind of things?
No,
More calls being made?
I'll let Bob explain this one.
Well, $104 extra a month, because when we brought the new service into the building, the police side wasn't hooked through IT. So to put the police system through the, what do they call it,
Upgrade?
no, it's through like the telephone, not the old, like, before we used to have telephone lines, now we have,
Internet.
internet.
Magic.
So we had to
Voice over IP?
pay for an internet service, which was $104 a month. So that was added to that, so I considered that and gave him 15,000, so, I mean, that should cover it.
And that's a yearly,
That includes.
Well, actually, I'm actually working on that as well. You can't call any of the phone companies today and get somebody who actually has any control of anything, because
long story short, we got Comcast now this year. Comcast has overbilled us and made us take a unit that we're not even using, and they're horrible. We would have been better staying with Broadview. But at this point, this is Bob's call. I like to cut them off and not pay them at all and explore something else. Because another $5,000.
Well, then, and we also would have to use our legal service to do that. And, you know, I think that, I mean, everybody in this town, half the people in this town have Comcast phone systems. The other have Verizon. So, I mean, Broadview, I heard nothing about how bad that system was.
They were. That was horrible. So we're running into the same problems. that
But
we
he has
do.
a lot more services now. His police officers can use their own phones to answer their phone. I mean, for the difference that we are paying, they're getting a lot more service. So, I mean, to compare apples to oranges from Broadview to Comcast, hey, George has had some problems, I'll agree. But overall, I think it's a much better service than Broadview because
It is. It is a much. We have a lot more, but I'll tell you what, I'm not happy with their price.
neither am I, but
I'm not happy with their service.
Are you under a
Everybody's all
contract?
dealt with
Yes,
Comcast.
2 years.
2-year contract. And what's the fee if you break the contract?
I think the firstborn.
actually, we paid Broadview because of two lines, like $460, which probably is part of that cost, because different phones were in different, time periods, so for us to do the whole phone system, we had to pay one phone till November of this year.
Pension, police pension.
Where?
I don't think that's it. Yeah, I know it's, I don't think that's that. That's actually goes into George's.
Why do we have 2204 in contingency?
Oh, we're not there yet.
I was just curious, it's
We'll get there.
a non-round number.
Auto insurance, you see, I raised that up 10%, a little less than that, actually. Let's see, health insurance, we went from 178 to 200.
It's like 25%.
So all the insurances there have been scaled up to where we think it should be.
Except for life insurance.
Excuse me?
Except for life insurance.
Yeah, life insurance, we budgeted a lot, and we don't know why that was budgeted that high, because even if you go back
Yeah,
through the 3 years, it's always been in and around $3,000.
makes sense.
So I don't understand why that did, so we brought that back to $3,000. Workman's comp, I just hope that stays low. I got a bad feeling that's not going to stay there, because I got a feeling they're looking at, our injuries at this point. So I had originally asked for 127.5 for that, just off a hunch.
You know,
Bob doesn't like my hunch. So, put that in the back of your mind, see how my
Okay.
hunch plays out.
Hi, George, I'll be the first to pat you on the back.
No, we don't want that to go up.
No,
No, I
I'd be
don't
happy, but
But, yeah, just going off, I mean, actually, I raised it 15,000 higher than last year's budgeted. So, I mean, I thought I was doing good on that line.
yeah, but I raised it, I wanted to go up 10%. And that 10% would put me 127.5 like I did with the rest of the insurances.
Okay, well,
And you see, that was an insurance that really gets knocked up. All right, moving down, the CERT program, which is our contribution when they buy equipment for the SWAT teams. They haven't bought a lot, so I mean, $500 down from what I asked for is I'm all right with. expense is just basically slush money that I can use for basically anything.
There's nothing in it.
There's 2,000.
There's 2,000.
But it's down from 2204, which I just thought was an odd number, and it is not.
I don't know.
No, that's probably
Budgeted
about the
15
budget.
too.
That was try, right? That's usually with contingencies, you try to balance the
Police technology fund, I stopped spending because we were told to, so I would have been up to my projected number if I would have been allowed to. Department runs on cars and technology now. So that's something you guys have to discuss on whether you want to put me back up to the 25,000. We're still not at, full, not every officer has a body camera, we're sharing them. I want everybody to have their own. We have found that, you invest a little bit in equipment and you get everybody their own equipment. It lasts forever. Everybody has their own tasers now, everybody has their own radios. Not one
Are
of
you
them.
getting anything from the dumpsters yet, the clothing?
Yeah, that's going into, that's into a whole separate fund. That won't come back to me.
Got it.
That's gonna go back to programs for the community.
Got
I don't see a dime out of that, and nor do I want to. I want that to be left for the community. So you gotta think about whether, where you wanna put your technology, in there. Investigative services, we knocked out years ago, so that's gone. I think that's basically where we're at.
Wasn't too bad.
And it's now I have 32.5. Extra. Aside from the salaries,
Yeah, salary.
What did you say?
32.5.
Oh, the amount that we have totally,
Pluses
that's
and
what you got?
minuses.
I've been adding it, yeah.
I don't have that much, but I went down to the bathroom, so I'm not sure what I missed.
And that was taking off the other money that we allocated?
That was the 3,000, I didn't even count that, because you took one, paid for the other. I just did the same thing.
Okay. Well, I think we should call it a night, given the fact that,
Tomorrow, I'd say we just get together back there and talk about salary issues. Still have some more units. Have a couple minutes.
I can go back up tomorrow night if you wanna do salaries, because I know I
but
got.
we're not gonna be here till 8:30.
Well, you wanna go a bit earlier?
Well, if we're going back there, we can do that while they're in here.
Right.
If we're doing exec session stuff, we can meet at 7:30, talk about salaries,
And then come out.
and then
here.
come out here and do whatever else we wanna do if we have any energy left.
But we're not exec session, they can't be a public anyway, so that's what you wanna do.
I'm okay with that.
So we're coming in tomorrow at 7:30?
Yeah.
I'll make it work. Thank you for putting my stuff on. So you guys still have to figure out number-wise, that 30-some thousand, and we gotta get up that, contractual obligations.
Right. I didn't even count that in that.
Right,
Yeah, we can't really.
But you do have the number that you have to be for the contractual obligations, right?
You need 774,209.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you were here bright and early for 7:30.